Welcome, race fans, back to SVR. We've had a week off for Easter, and it's all systems go here at Daytona Speedway for the fantastic G1 Division Round 3 of the championship. My name is Webbo. I'm here to bring you today's broadcast as ever, and a big welcome to Stefan, Grinch, Oscar, Jailhouse Chris, Lurtsy, Sifa, and Run DMC, who've already said hello and got themselves into the live chat. Make sure that you are part of the broadcast today. It's great to have you, and to QT as well. There he is. Yeah, special hello to Sir Grinch, who called me out there. So great to see you all. This is how our season looks so far. Wask on top by just 2 points from what looks to be a season running rivalry underway already. Arya, the only other winner, of course, of a race so far this season. Arya on 29 points. Dirbag Larry is on 26. We were learning a little bit about his race morning habits and procedure that leave a little bit to be desired. It seems. Mate is in fourth. We've got Tequila Monkey, our season 1 champion of S1, in 5th place, moving up with Nikki at the expense of Nasty, down on 15 points. Pat Finn is on 8. In 8th on 14, we have Bijan in 9th. Apex Red, then followed by Mo and Uncle Pants. So we'll go into the team standings in the intermission, because right now I think it's time to get trackside for a little bit of race action here. I need to get my screen up and running, of course. In fact, I think what we will do for quali, I was just wondering about for quali whether we should turn things off, but it's a bit hard for me to know exactly what I'm looking at. So I'll tell you what, we'll turn off race information, because that's not really helping a great deal. Sorry. Car information. That's not helping a great deal in terms of visuals. You can see the Zelen race driver. This is Zelen Motorsports all-Canadian driver pairing of the former rivals, now best buds, Pat Finn and, of course, Wask. Pat Finn first out on this historic motorsport circuit, home to the Coca-Cola 500, if I'm remembering correctly, but most importantly, this configuration for the Rolex 24 held in January, and of course the track that opened the F1 movie most recently and most notably there. So we have Pat Finn on his way round what is the NASCAR Turn 2 of essentially 4. We're not really counting the tri-oval apex particularly. But yeah, we're ready to go racing, and looking forward to this one. Into the dreaded bus stop chicane here goes Pat Finn. Not the first time today, in fact, that Nikki and Red have been going through a difficult bus stop chicane, and that is a nightmare situation for Pat Finn. On his freshest point on his brand new soft tyres, he will get a half-second penalty on his first time through here. There it is, and that is going to hurt, albeit only a very small amount, his lap time for his first hot lap. And I imagine he's not best pleased that just took place. Let me get you a nice driver to watch as well, a bit further back, shall we? Maybe and in the order. I've got. Let's give you Mate VRX8, because he is always a popular driver, so you can watch his qualifying lap. So through the international horseshoe or hairpin, and Pat Finn getting out of his teammate's way. Sorry, not his teammate, his compatriot Aya in the Team Azul entry. This is the dogleg, slight kink to the left before heading into the west horseshoe or hairpin. Slightly wide, narrower entry. Get my words out. Narrower exit to the west horseshoe before heading into the double left, which is the in and the out. And we're now back onto the banking then. Many different lines available. You try as much as possible to stick to those black painted over yellow line sections there before heading up onto the banking. Try and minimize your total distance covered by staying low. It doesn't really help you to go high, low, high, and then just gradually, diagonally drift out towards the right hand side. Get nice and close, but not too close to the wall. You don't need to steal too much there. Drop down to fourth, even to third gear, and Aya has lost the rear mid bus stop. I would imagine that will cost him a little bit. It put him offline, and there was a hesitation there through the bus stop for the first time then. So Arya will come to be the first driver on the track to cross the line, and we'll see him on his way through. Hi to that new toy smell as well, who has just joined us, cheering on Larry here. Cut across down to the low side and cross the line at 146.138. I'll skip back to Larry because we know Pat Finn was having difficulties. Wask did only just slower than Arya that time. Nicky posts a third place, quickly beaten by Red, a 46.7 by Red. Here comes Dirtbag Larry. That's only good enough for 8th position as Tequila Monkey crosses the line. Perhaps a slower charge lap for him, a 4.4 second off the overall standings. And Monsieur Keith then, team owner of the PSV Racing Group, as he fires up his Ferrari 296. I had the pleasure of driving one of these earlier on this. Have I got that wrong? It's the Porsche. It's those little fins on the wheel arches that was tricking me there for a second. But yes, Monsieur Keith then posting a much slower charge lap then, as Arya and Wask will do battle. Here is Arya. He is behind the Zelen Motorsports entry of Wask. No, of Pat Finn again. Somehow or other, Finn has got back ahead here. So I kind of feel like I owe Pat Finn a clear run through the second half of this second fast lap, but he's way down at the moment. I'm reading 8th, but actually on my screen he's a little bit lower down still. That was Arya just washing out. That was Wask washing out on the circuit as Arya comes through. 0.051 his clear pole time at the moment, but that feels slow, and he is slowing here, staying high, but that might affect Wask. They can't seem to agree who goes first on this run down through the run. Hi to Oscar and to Motomania there as well. As we say, we're enjoying your favourite driver in the bottom right of your screen here in this qualifying session. So Wask crosses the line. That is a 146.1. Remember, just a 10-minute session here for these drivers. A 146.138, a 146.189. The best that our drivers can achieve so far. I'm still looking for Pat Finn. Where has he gone? He's back in 12th place at the moment. We join him on board now as he goes to try and set a better lap as he runs then through turn 1. Very difficult braking area, and there is an invisible wall element here in GT7 on the entry, certainly through the apex there, as Kim is cheering on Azul. Good to see Kim. Nice to have you with us. Do speak up if you haven't done, especially through the intermission, and ask any questions, make any statements you wish to do. If you're watching the engineer view I've pinned onto the live chat, then and you notice something interesting about what's happening to our drivers, then do let us all know. And I can't be everywhere watching everything all at once, but I will do my level best. Into the in of the in and out, through the out of the in and out goes Pat Finn then, as Stormborn's here cheering on Arya. Can we get a race day food intake update for the menu today so far, Stormborn? So far it's clear in pole position by only 0.05 of a second. A big cheer for the Azul blue team from Oscar, of course. And hopping over the curbs, just coffee. Well, that's one way to get through the run. Then here comes Finn. Can he post himself into a better position then? Really needs to be chasing those performances. Got a great qualifying in Watkins Glen. Unfortunately, lap 1 problem through a bus stop there. We do need, syrup in the coffee, I think. Finn in P8 then, a 2.9 second PB for him. Let's go back because we've got a new driver in the top 3. It's Red. In fact, also with Spin joining as well. Spin, who is new to me anyway. Spin or Playopa is his handle. Here we are on board this time the Ferrari 296 that I was driving this morning here. No, I've done it again, haven't I? It is still the Porsche. It is still the Porsche. You just got passed by a child, it says on Red's Porsche there. He's a little bit too close for comfort here. VRX goes third, a 146.2. Can Red do anything about this one? To Chris, steak, baked potatoes and peas, and mushroom sauce, he says. Okay, awesome. Injecting syrup into Arya. We did talk about poutine breakfast, did we not, Stormborn? That seemed to be the key. Still no change at the front. Arya ahead of Wasp by 0.05 of a second. VRX not far away either, just 11 thousandths of a second away from P2. This is Red, who should get a good tow here off the BMW in front. He'll try his best to not run into the back of that dirtbag Larry BMW. I think I just picked up on his license plate there on the outside. And he lost a bit of time, Red, through this one, but he will be gaining time, and it's 2.5 tenths of a second up. He needs only 1.5 tenths to regain that second place. Can he, in fact, get himself up onto the front row here, Red, with that tow on the back of the BMW? I imagine by the speed, Larry will be up there too. Watch these standings as they change. Pat Finn's just jumped up as well. Larry to pole, and Red beats him from directly behind. Insane work from Larry and from Red there as they cross the line astern. And VRX goes into second place by just 9 thousandths of a second. What are we watching right now? Let's go back to Arya, who is defending that former pole position. It's not going to be there. It is his final lap. He loses the rear of the car slightly. Will that hold for him? We'll just have a look at Wask as well. You'll see what's happening to Arya in front. That'll give him a little bit of extra motivation because Arya's rears have gone. Arya really struggling on the rear tyres right now. Here comes Wask though. We'll get an update of his time on the exit of the NASCAR Turn 2, which is back onto the straightaway, heading down towards the bus stop chicane. On board with Arya as he crosses that line. It's slower. What about for Wask? Is he any quicker right now? We don't know yet. Arya ducks out of the way. Down into the bus stop we go. Red holds that pole position of 45.920 ahead of a 45.929 from VRX. This is absolutely insane. It's only half a tenth of a second Wask away from his absolute best, but he needs to find 2.5 tenths of a second to get back on that front row. It might be too little, too late here for Wask as he's stamping on the throttle, leaning forward in his seat, I'm sure. Wask for back on the pole on the front row. Can he get it? No, it's slower than he went before. It's Red ahead of VRX, Dirtbag Larry and Arya. Here comes newcomer Spin on his final lap. Finn is about to cross the line, but he's taken a penalty. Spin and Tequila Monkey into fifth as well. Tequila Monkey there, the S1 champion from 2024. Tequila onto row 3. Here comes Spin. Can he hang on and try and regain some positions, deposing our leader Wask of the championship? No, it's Tequila Monkey and Wask on row 3. It will be Dirtbag Larry and Arya on row 2, and Red and VRX at the front here. We need some NOS, do we, says Run, for Bijan and Nikki as they come through. But what a fantastic and exciting qualifying session we just witnessed. Tremendous stuff from our great racers there, as we will just turn that off. I think we might need to turn off Hector even as well, because here is as things stand from my perspective anyway. Red with the fastest time of 45.920. He may not be connected to Hector. I'm relying on my live audience today. If Hector starts getting a bit squirrely, or if Hector says qualifying after lap 1, then let me know, because we'll have to turn that off. But it's Red ahead of VRX, Germany and Croatia, United States and Canada, Great Britain and Canada again. Row 2, Larry and Arya. Row 3, Tequila Monkey and Wask. Row 4 is Spin and Finn. You can't make it up, can you? Nasty and Uncle Pants are 2 Americans on row 5, with Nicky Lauda, the Austrian, with the part-time Spanish, part-time Brit, Apex not found, in P12. Bijan in 13th and Mushokeef in 14th position then for that qualifying session. What a session we just witnessed. That was absolutely stellar. Look at the field. The top 8, 5 tenths of a second. And in fact, the top 10 are within 6 tenths of a second there. Absolutely fantastic. Just what we want to see here in the top tier of GT3 racing at the VR Sim Racing World Championship. Of course, we're into our third season right now, I believe. Am I making it up now? But I believe this is season 3. I know I've been with these guys for some time. Practice race is being changed then for everybody, and we have, I think, a quick intermission then. Where you can help me with the content for this intermission period. I may need to just step away for a second while we look at the team standings as well. But this is how our teams are looking so far after 2 rounds. It is Azul on 47 ahead of Zelen on 45. Argento 39 with the Mega Obsidian Black team in P4 on 35 points. We've got Morado in 5th on 20, Hector Motorsports on 17, and Oro Racing in 7th place. I'm just going to take a quick break and I'll be right back for you. Back with you, good people, as we are looking forward to this one. Grinch saying the RCZ is looking too scary for Daytona. Wask with a good congratulation there, very sporting of him to get everybody underway. So yes, congratulations to Red. What a fantastic qualifying session we just enjoyed, as the settings are all reset. And Red also being a bit PG there, surprisingly for me anyway, right now. Congratulations from Rents in the chat as well. Good to see you, Rents, watching on with Red. Of course, big vested interest there in Red's performance. Rents being the father of Red. Red was telling us today when we were racing this morning together that he might be the only driver on the grid without a real life driving license. So he is too young. He's learning. We wish him well in his trance there. Apparently his instructor has to remind him that he isn't driving a racing car. We are about to get underway for your what was going on? Standings ping changing over and over. I'm not quite sure what you're saying, Squinch. Okay, awesome. We're ready to get underway for the race. Hopefully you are excited for this one. And remember that we have a standing start for you. And I'll just quickly take you through the tyre selection. Medium for Red. And for the RCZ of VRX, Dirtbag Larry, we've got hard tyres chosen from Aya and Tequila Monkey for the Azul Racing team, as has Wask. Mediums for Spin, hards for Finn, nasty, hards, medium for Nicky. Looks like a fair old mix. Here we go then, getting underway for your race time, and it's Red ahead of VRX as they head. This will hopefully help them head the way into turn 1. Red ahead of VRX, and already it looks like Dirtbag Larry running wide, allowing Aya through down the inside. Dirtbag Larry missing out a position there for the Obsidian BMW, while Red commands a lead of this race. Tequila Monkey going right round the outside of Larry as the drivers slot back into position. Wask, Spin, Finn in 6, 7 and 8. At the head of the field though, it is Red ahead of VRX and Aya in P3. As I'll try and get you some camera angles to enjoy as well. So down we go. Round the outside this time. Looks like Spin trying to take Tequila Monkey round the outside of the West Horseshoe and heading towards the in and out. That puts him on the inside line for the in and out. He's made it in there. Tequila Monkey tries to turn in, he can't quite get it done, and there's a little bit of confusion on the way through the in and out. Looks like Tequila Monkey cutting back there as Wask tried to stick the nose in. Wask has gone down. Finn is right with his teammate here, and they're on the same tyre strategy. Look out for Zelen and Azul, all on hard tyres at the start of this race, but it does look like at the front of the pack, Red is leading them away into the bus stop then for the first time, and it's VRX and Aya in close succession, followed by Dirtbag Larry, and down the inside, tries Spin against Tequila Monkey, posts him out to the outside, they both split, and through the middle goes Pat Finn and Wask for Team Zelen up in the order. Team Hector Motorsports, Nasty made his way through as well in the Porsche. So Tequila Monkey dropping down with Spin. He won't be too impressed with that, and Nicky getting away as well on the medium tyres very, very nicely as we head up into lap 1. That was Tequila Monkey taking a penalty at this early stage. So let's give you a new camera angle to watch. Someone from further back will perhaps go onto Spin's camera, because he's in the thick of it right now. Red leading VRX and Aya from the rest of the field. Dirtbag Larry, Wask and Finn. It really worked out this time for Wask and Pat Finn there in the Zelen team. Finn just swapping ends very, very slightly. Nasty chasing him down. I think Nasty's on those. No, he's on the hard tyres. He's managed to switch those hard tyres on very nicely here, and it shows you that there is a big difference in the driving performance at the start of a cold, hard tyre early part of a race between qualifying and race pace here. Absolutely. So through we go then. It is Nasty in that P7 chasing down Pat Finn, who's had one of the best starts he's had so far this season, and really trying to unlock a decent result. But it's Nasty who is on the up at the moment. That's not his teammate directly behind. That is Nicky Lauda in the Murado purple and green, the number 275. It's great to see the roof number on a Daytona race as well. Here is Nasty then. Let's follow him from the chase cam as we shape to one side, then the other, on the way into the bus stop, through the bus stop as smoothly as possible. Keep narrow, and you can get on the power out through without touching a wheel on the grass, which Finn just did. Up in front of these two, you have got a bit of action going on. It looks like Aya chasing down Dirtbag Larry. Red still leads ahead of VRX, and then these two drivers forcing the issue here, but it looks like Aya is going to take a penalty there, and Wask is going to fly by. Talking about flying by, here comes Nicky Lauda and Nasty going by Pat Finn as well. Down to 8th place for Pat Finn. Will he lose another one to Bijan? Probably not. Nicky Lauda in the purple, behind the purple Hector Motorsports car of Nasty. That is how things are looking right now. Red, VRX, Dirtbag Larry ahead of Wask and Arya. P6 is Nasty, hasn't connected to Hector, somewhat ironically here. As we continue then through the race, it's Bijan. Let's have another look at what went down between Tequila Monkey and Spin through the in and out earlier on. This was out of the West Horseshoe. Tequila Monkey in the Lamborghini, Spin on the inside in the silver Peugeot RCZ for Team Argento. As they try to turn in, we try and get into it. We're trying to do a switchback here. Did we actually end up with some contact, or was it just that we transgressed track limits, both of them on either side of track limits? I think it was, because their penalties appeared above their cars almost immediately. Tequila Monkey and Spin are side by side once again. Tequila Monkey has the low side though, through and out of the in and out once again then. And he will then challenge the Argento RCZ on the way down into the bus stop. He should be level by the time they get there. No, he's ducked back in for a fresh little dip of that toe down the inside. Unfortunately, though, that puts him a bit narrow into the first corner. You should be able to repair that as the different lines coming through the bus stop are borne witness. It looks like Uncle Pants has had a hell of a run through the bus stop. Nasty's teammate here for Hector Motorsports, and he's absolutely mashing the throttle down the long straightaway, the longest flat-out section of our racetrack here today. Red leads VRX and Dirtbag Larry. Dirtbag Larry takes the new fastest lap of the race, and Tequila Monkey makes sure that he can't be passed, at least on the inside. Back to your leaders though. Red ahead of VRX and Dirtbag Larry, with Wask, our championship leader, back in 4th place, but ahead of his main championship rival so far, Arya. But it's the return of Red, the return to form of Red as well in the Tortoro Gold PSV Racing Porsche here, ahead of the Peugeot RCZ Argento 142, driven by VRX. Dirtbag Larry directly behind as well. And I tell you what, we've just had a swap over from Wask and from Arya. It's still going on here. That's Wask on the inside, then onto the in and out, reclaiming that position. But these two are fighting like mad right now, and it's fantastic to see. Arya with the wedge-shaped Lamborghini Huracan tucking underneath the McLaren. Tends to suffer in straight line speed, the McLaren, but it is more nimble. We've got a bit of side-by-side action as well. We'll see both these groups into the bus stop here, and Wask is absolutely determined not to give up the inside line here to Arya, who is absolutely fixed on the outside. But further back, we did have some side-by-side running. It looks like that has sorted itself out though. Bijan up to 7th. Nasty dropping back to 9th position now as Finn goes high then low underneath Bijan's Murado Ferrari 296. And with the McLaren on the low side here, he should have the shorter distance all the way through to turn 1 as they cross the start-finish line to finish out lap 4. They're about to go 3 wide, which we absolutely love, except into turn 1. Daytona Nasty trying to get the inside line here. Wask has the favoured line on the way in, but he'll be having to brake a little bit later. He'll be vulnerable to a cutback, but it's right on the absolute limit, these two drivers, though. All 3 of them, I think, as closing up behind comes Spin. You're watching Spin there. It says Plenipore, but that is Spin in the Peugeot RCZ, and Wask has his hands full watching out for these 2 bright purple machines of the Murado 296 and the Porsche Hector Motorsports entry as well. Down we go then, still holding the inside line. You'll need to then feed out to the outside so you don't give up the inside into the in and out. Into the west horseshoe we go right now, but for Finn at least, he can see that Bijan has his hands full with Nasty coming around the outside. We asked Nasty why he has 32 in front of his name. He said that's the number of his victims. So he hasn't added to that number in recent years. But that was his personal confession to us all. Here is the Azul racing car of Arya, as you can see the top 3 getting away from the championship contenders right now. It is early days in the championship as Wask comes down into the on the inside line. Finn is ahead of Murado. We've got Spin, who's gone by Nasty through that run. Behind them, Uncle Pants in 12th, Apex not found in 13th, and Mushokif in the Tortoro Porsche down in 14th position. His teammate, though, with the red flashes all over him, it is Red in with less than 1/10 of a second separating him and VRX. We get a rare view, or I get a rare view, of the fact that Red is running a perfect 50-50 front to rear brake balance adjustment here at the moment, if my graphic is to be believed. That's Dirtbag Larry trying to get that second place away from the Argento VRX as well. The evening sun there, the golden hour evening sunshine here in Florida is glinting off our beautiful race cars. I think we'll be heading in towards early sunset conditions. It's only lap 6 of the 33. That's a very vulnerable place to put yourself, Wask, on the absolute limit of adhesion with Arya down the inside. And again, though, trying to get through the dogleg on the approach to the west horseshoe, and Wask sweeps along bravely. Hoping that he's judged the distance to the nose of the car behind to perfection. Look at how great and how close our drivers are racing. That's Niki Lauda, our Austrian-based German driver in the 275 Porsche 296 here. I think we needed one of the Ferrari drivers to take the race number 296 this year. But Arya in P5 in the Canadian behind his compatriot here, Arya. These two fighting over the top of the championship standings, but if they finish down in 4th and 5th, we will see other drivers close in, of course. Dirtbag Larry, VRX. Dirtbag Larry has got by VRX. Let's maybe try and catch that run once again. Here is Dirtbag Larry. He's going to do this. Is it a penalty for VRX? It's not a penalty for VRX. This is a straight pass down into the bus stop. Look at that from Larry. Beautiful down the inside, exactly what we want to see. The 77 really lighting things up right now, and it is absolutely great to see. Niki Lauda, has he got ahead of Pat Finn as well? Let's try and catch that one as we'll run back through the order. He has got through past Pat Finn. I think that might have been a situation of penalties there paying, but yeah, Niki Lauda in P6 then now, and closing the gap super fast with a little bit of damage on the car as well. But those medium tyres, he's unlocked something now, suddenly getting past Finn and clear of teammate Bijan as they run out of the International Horseshoe, the most infield of the two hairpins. There's a nice wide exit there as well. There is another racing configuration for the motorbikes here at Daytona, but you don't see it being used. We've only got the option of the tri-oval and the infield Rolex 24 run. It looks like Niki's struggling with a little bit of lag to his session host, Matt D. Matt helping us out with the hosting duties as usual. Red ahead of Dirtbag Larry and VRX. Let's go back to those three. Actually, Red has got away here by 1.9 seconds, but no one can breathe easy right now. Everybody has got a rival near or a mission very clear in front or behind of them to continue with. Reassure me, would you folks, that the live chat is working a-okay, and put in your requests for any driver POVs that you like. I can't give you Arya, I can't give you Tequila Monkey. The drivers in 11th and 12th, unfortunately, and Wask have all not got their streams running. Neither has Red, it seems. But of the drivers I didn't just mention, you can have any of those. Where is Keith? Mr. Keith is out the back of the grid, unfortunately. Mr. Keith back in 14th place. Hasn't pitted, but isn't having a great day of it so far. The Tortoro Porsche struggling out there a little bit at the back of the grid, but it's also doing very well with those little red accents for your red driver, the number 47 here, as he is putting a nice healthy gap on Dirtbag Larry. 1.7 seconds that has opened out to. Dirtbag Larry, though, I think bringing this car and this stint together nicely. Medium tyres for the front three, of course. We've got Wask on the hards with Arya in 5th, so 4th and 5th. Yeah, so what are you right now? G1 race? You're a PSV sandwich, exactly that. Niki Lauda in P6. He's on the medium tyres as well. He's directly behind two hard tyre runners. He would love to get by them if he can on this particular strategy, because he's going to have to build a bit of a gap. But I think Niki certainly will have a tough job getting by these two great racers in front of him who are fighting over the top place in our championship. Number 16, Pat Finn, is ahead of another two drivers then together. Pat Finn ahead of Bijan and Spin out there. Great to see our runners doing so well. I'm going to go back to Spin's stream for you so that you can kind of take in this battle as it comes together. As there's the lake on the infield that the drivers pass on the way into the bus stop. You don't necessarily easily see that from the perspective of the cockpit, but of course all the drivers are part of, and you can see that our drivers are all using the VR helmets, of course. That is mandatory here at the VR Sim Racing World Championship. Nasty in 10th, Tequila Monkey with a poor first stint, but I would imagine plotting his comeback already. Tequila Monkey in 11th. He is on the hard tyres though, as most of the second half of our field currently are. Apex not found in 13th, and the only outlier there is Mr. Keith, who is on the medium tyres at the back in P14, also using a fair amount of fuel, a bit more than his teammate who leads the race on those medium tyres by 1.9 seconds. That's Red ahead of Dirtbag Larry, and there is VRX as well in P3. Larry making one place up since the first couple of laps there, which is brilliant to see, as the aircraft take off or land or taxi around at Daytona International Airport in the background as well. You can see the golden hour well and truly underway then in our light conditions. It's always good to see. We do like a bit of golden hour, don't we? As we will run with Pat Finn here and see the close battle directly behind him. That is Arya and Niki Lauda. It's very red and white, this middle of the track in terms of national flags, as Pat Finn head leaning to one side. I'm not sure, like, I know that we have to do that in the VR helmet. It's a little bit uncomfortable after several laps. I don't know quite why the driver avatar inside the car doesn't lean his head to the outside for comfort. But we're always looking. Look at that beautiful sunset in the background of Wask. He picks up a half-second penalty though. That might be too late to take on the way. No, it is going to be taken on the way out of the NASCAR Turn 4 here at the end of the circuit. So we'll see the cars behind suddenly gain considerably. That drops his top speed way down, and the drivers behind are now catching, so he's now going to have a bit of a hard work lap here to hang on to this run. There is Aya directly behind him, and you've got Niki Lauda bringing himself, I think, in towards this championship as Aya's rear tyres let go slightly on him. I just want to check in with our championship there, because Niki Lauda in 6th is only 2 points off Tequila Monkey's 5th place. And I think eyeing up a run at the title here, but it could well be that VRX goes ahead with Dirtbag Larry, and they both jump Wask and Arya if things don't improve for our current championship leaders. We are just approaching 1/3 distance of this race. Red leads Dirtbag Larry and VRX. Then there's a small gap to these drivers, this battle pack right here of Wask, Arya and Niki Lauda, with Pat Finn, Spin, and I want to say Bijan not far behind. I'm going to have to call him Bijin to rhyme with that group, but I think Bijan has dropped back. He has dropped back very, very hard. So you've got Spin chasing Finn right now. Tequila Monkey, Nasty, Uncle Pants are all three of them here. It's going to be a really difficult challenge here for the two Hector Motorsports cars, who can't squeeze Tequila Monkey on the outside, but they can put in a good fight here as we head down into the bus stop. It's anybody's guess with this camera angle as they head down in, and Tequila Monkey trying to go around the outside of both of them, doesn't quite make it. Is caught on the inside on the grass there. They'll go side by side on the exit. Look out for Uncle Pants, possibly picking up a penalty on the way out. It hasn't happened for Uncle Pants, but Apex Not Found comes through from way downtown all the way through in the bus stop there, and he has a chance now to challenge on the way through this next one. What a fantastic run this is to see with these great drivers, as Apex Not Found is hot on the heels here of the two drivers directly in front of him. That's the Azul Racing car of Tequila Monkey, and Uncle Pants braking much later than Tequila Monkey there into turn 1 and just hanging on. Tequila going for the old slow in, fast out approach, but unfortunately it was bettered by Uncle Pants, who was fast in. Brace yourself and medium speed out, I think there. Both cars struggling with grip on the exit of the corner. The hard tyres, as the temperatures drop, the dew point is reached on the grass there, and suddenly they're finding that the track is dropping its operating temperatures. The hard tyre runners will be struggling. This will be advantage these drivers later on, because the colder the conditions, the better it is to be on the medium, the softer compound of tyres. So we may well see the order reversing later on. Back to the lead though, and Red's lead is miraculously somehow 4.5 seconds here on lap 11. The medium's going off, the fuel running out. It is almost time to pit then to try and get this car through the second stint of the race. A change of tyre compound is required, of course, for our drivers, but they have to use the hards and the mediums. They can use softs if they need to make a second pit stop, but that would be less desirable than, of course, making one. But I think with the amount of full throttle percentage of this lap, it is going to be tricky. In at the 1/3 distance exactly, come our top 4, make that, I would imagine, well, most of the top group who started on the mediums, but Arya has been tiptoeing around on his hard tyres, takes the lead of the race now and gets some beautiful clean air on his wing. This is an important one for him to absolutely master this clear lap for himself, because this is where he has the opportunity to kind of defend from the pit stop that is happening around him, because he's on the hard tyres. The other drivers will come out 1 quarter, 1/3 of a lap, maybe 1 sector of a lap, they will have a tricky time bringing the tyres up to temperature, that his tyres are in the operating window, and then they will go much quicker than Arya, and he'll have the work to do later on in the race. Arya 23.1 seconds ahead of Red, with Dirtbag Larry out in P3. Full tank of fuel for our racers as well. Out on the medium tyres for VRX here. He is going to go for a very, very short stint on the hards at the end of the race, I believe. Medium tyres then for him. And he's gone for a full tank of fuel as well. Now, it might be slightly wasteful because it could be that the tyres run out before the fuel runs out for him. Actually, we should just check. I shouldn't really do this to him, but we should check that he's turned off his apex and exit cone markers, and I believe that he has. So it looks like he's driving without assists, as he should do right now. So that's great to see. We took us a couple of races just to remind him that we drove without assists here in the VR Sim Racing World Championship, unless you count Hector as being an assist, which he probably is. Arya ahead of Red, but then 5 seconds further back is this driver, Dirtbag Larry. Arya pits early doors there as well, so he's come in at the end of lap 12. So he knows that the drivers in front of him here, essentially later on in the race, they'll be in front of him, are going to go faster than him now. He's got rid of those hard tyres. He's come into the pits. Will he elect to try and run this hard, medium, soft, or a hard, medium, medium run? He's extended the gap there by 1 lap from the rest of the drivers around him. Oscar cheering on as all, with Arya in the pits. He will drop back, Oscar, for now. And Tequila Monkey has had a little bit of difficulty, and I want to say that Oscar is Tequila Monkey's nephew, and we did sort of lightly joke that Oscar might be known as Juicebox Monkey instead of Tequila, but Oscar's definitely gone for Oscar GT as his gamer tag, so why on earth not? This is Nicky Lauda again, spin. This is currently for P6 and P7. Let's see, quite like that one. Spin in P7 then, and you have to let me know. Spin, I presume, is not a main change here for the Argento team. I think this is just a reserve spot here for Mo, who hasn't been able to be with us today. So great. I love the camera options that we have here. Yellow flag for Pat Finn on track. There's obviously something happening up front there. That is Dirtbag Larry. Let's go to Dirtbag Larry and see what happened. That's a 1 second penalty for Dirtbag Larry. Oh yeah, cold hard tyres. Gets a swap around and then an absolute slam in the side there from VRX. I don't imagine there was much VRX could do about that one. But he gets a penalty for that as well, does Dirtbag Larry, and that really hurts. Let's have another look from VRX's point of view as he comes through. And Larry, well, just tank slapper into the wall. What on earth? There was no chance at avoiding that one from VRX. Unfortunately, he will have heavy damage to the front. Dirtbag Larry will have damage. Enter the fray was completely clear of any damage, and Dirtbag Larry will be super upset about that situation. Brand new hard tyres, of course, in these cold conditions. He had to switch onto the hard tyres. The only good thing is that he can get off those hard tyres when he goes to repair the car. And I'm not sure, has he actually gone into the pits, Dirtbag Larry? What is happening right now? We have got a huge moment happening in front of this group. Where are they? Let's go back and see exactly what just went down there. This was the Argento as he comes through. I think I've got the wrong car. There we go. Nicky Lauda losing it into turn 1, but was he pushed into it, I wonder? We'll go over to Spin here, and the Spin's point of view. Now that we've got the replay sorted, I'll try and get you Spin's replay of that. And did he in fact make contact here? Well, it's very, very busy traffic. He kind of drifts out wide to Pat Finn. Nicky runs wide. Oh dear me. Now I don't know how you rule that on that one, but it looked to me possibly like it was Nicky who was late on the brakes and understeered into everybody, but that's just my first view of it. Dirtbag Larry with massive damage, hasn't pitted yet, but he has to burn some fuel off if he wants to make one stop to the end of the race. Does he live with it on the hard tyres, or does he give it up and just say, get in there and swap it out. Nasty in P7, Stormborn, right now. Here he is in the Hector Motorsports Porsche. Looking absolutely beautiful in these night conditions. We do want to see some special night liveries from time to time. There is Dirtbag Larry. I would imagine he'll be thinking about a pit stop. His time was 10 seconds on lap 13 slower than he was operating before the pit stop. Look at the way the cars behind him are catching and passing him. Lowry, give it up and go to the pits. I know that was a bit of a meme last season, but Lowry, I think, is dropping down but below the apron. He is heading in, Dirtbag Larry, thankfully, learning from the Lago Maggiore round of season 2 last season. That was quite something. I believe the quote was, "For the love of God, Larry, pit," as we were waiting for him. But he goes into the pits. He has to fix that car. It is operating way too slowly for anybody's taste. So as we run then through here, you're watching VRX. He is currently in P3. And we'll tune in, I think, to a bit of Apex Not Found, because I don't think we've been watching him. He's got a name of Broccoli C on Twitch, Apex Not Found, but you can enjoy his view of life back there in currently P11 as we run through. Just if you're not sure, P6 is Nasty on your order. P9 is Uncle Pants. The two Hector Motorsports drivers are not connected to Hector. Yeah, okay, there you go. Syrup doing its work, says Oscar, as obviously Stormborn managed to get plenty of maple syrup into the coffee there in the intermission between the qualifying and the race. Morado versus Hector Motorsports here as Nicky goes high, then Nicky goes low. He's already had problems into turn 1. What chance of getting a bit of luck going through the bus stop here? Well, he's super wide. Will that be a penalty on Nicky's car for 2 wheels out on the grass? Hopefully he ducked out of the throttle. No, it is a penalty for Nicky then as Tequila Monkey charges forward. Is Red on hards? I believe Red is on hards. I will check that out momentarily. We just want to see these drivers come through though, because I think there's about to be an overtake coming. Fairly straightforward one. Possibly a late decision there to come into the pits from Spin. Nasty 6th, Pants in 7th. Tequila Monkey blasting by Nicky Lauda. Red is on the hard tyres, yes indeed, and he's clicked his brake balance one back there. So Rent says mediums. My game says hards, Rent. So I'm not sure. he did mediums. He's gone to the hards here, and for the PSV Racing Tortoro liveried Porsche. As he comes through then. What a fantastic display this has been so far from Red. Wask in P2. Rents, were you guessing there and you got a 50-50 one wrong? Possibly. Wask in P2 now with Aya in 3rd and VRX in 4th. Wask on the medium tyres, so is Aya. And VRX has a little bit of damage on the front of that Peugeot RCZ. It might even make it good looking. You never know. If you go through, it seems to have changed strategy last second, says Rents. So he's gone on to the hards, presumably for a shorter period of time. Has he short fueled? He has short fueled the car. That's some smart thinking from Red there to minimise his weight on the hard tyres in these cold conditions before it gets even colder later on and he can enjoy putting on the medium tyres. But he's completed his mandatory tyre compound change at this stage. We've got Aya in 3rd, VRX in 4th. We've got Pat Finn in 5th place. And Finn moving forward nicely as well. He's had fewer incidents and errors here than the cars that he was mixing with at the start of the race. He can see his prey up front. He knows his teammate is in P2, so he knows he can try and get up to a provisional podium here without any team orders getting in the way of things. Down we go in towards that difficult braking zone for turn 1. Pat Finn glowing the front brake disc there in the McLaren in P5, gaining on the car in front, VRX, who does have that top speed disadvantage thanks to the disturbed aerodynamics on the front of the car. Nasty's in 6th, Uncle Pants coming through in 7th, Tequila Monkey in 8th now after a problematic first stint, Nicky Lauda in 9th, Bijan in 10th, we have Apex Not Found in 11th, Spin has just pitted and put on the soft tyres for just a couple laps, I imagine, here in P12. Whoa, that was wide from spin. We've got Michelle Keefe in 13th, having a spell here, not at the back of the grid, because Dirtbag Larry having to fix that catastrophic damage on the car and change strategy, has gone for a short stint, short fueled on the medium tyres, so he will have to pit again. I think he made that determination. It was going to happen anyway, so why not just try and have a good stint here. But your leader is Red in the Tortoro Porsche for PSV Racing. Great performance so far, keeping two wheels on the yellow curbing there. You can't do that anymore at Daytona. They've put some horrible blue and white curbs on the inside of those apexes, and you simply cannot ride those curves the same way. And GT7 has not updated its curb model at the bus stop. I wish it would. But there's a bigger issue here at GT7 where drivers can cut this tri-oval section when they're doing hot laps and save a couple of seconds across there. That blue painted surface, the Geico advert, and over the grass, and they can save a huge amount of time. VRX in 4th. We've got Finn in 5th now, just under 2 seconds behind VRX. Finn is on a mission on this at this point in the race, and I won't say anything good about Finn anymore. Lest I get blamed for cursing him, because I did cut to him in Watkins Glen and it all sort of went a little bit wrong. Nasty also, an impressive race from Nasty here in 6th position. His teammate Uncle Pants might be putting in driver of the day performance so far here in P6. We've had a very, very stable so far Hector display, have we not? It's been fantastic. As you can also see that Apex Not Found is catching Bijan on your picture-in-picture there. This is Uncle Pants getting a lot of attention from Tequila Monkey behind there as we continue through. So we run through here, and Tequila Monkey out of the West Horseshoe towards the in and out. We'll just try and focus on getting a clean exit out of here. Well, he's gone for the inside line. I think this has cost Tequila before getting track limits, but he gets a beautiful line in the Lamborghini through the in and out, and he's already ahead. I think the tail of the car is completely ahead if you draw a line perpendicular to the racetrack as we go across the lake, past the Ferris wheel on the infield, and head down into here. Tequila Monkey on the medium tyres right now. Oscar, Uncle Pants, the same compounder tyre and a similar life. Tequila running a little bit longer in the race, but he was slower through the bus stop there than the Porsche. That could just be the vehicle dynamic difference between the two cars. But Uncle Pants managing to regain a little bit of speed. Can't use the slipstream. There's no bump drafting allowed either. Even between teammates are not allowed to bump draft. And you can see the difficulty that Uncle Pants has got going right around the outside. The airflow on the car suddenly makes the top speed stall on the Porsche. The Lamborghini staying low down into that turn 1, putting himself in harm's way. There is Uncle Pants right on the outside onto the marbles, holding on but losing out a little bit of track time. How he held on to that, I don't know. I've seen drivers go straight into the barrier using that wide line on the way into turn 1 if they haven't made the apex. Behind them, the slightly laggy looking Nicky Lauda today in P9, and the headlights blind us on the way through. I should have turned the temporary exposure up a little bit, but we are well floodlit here at Daytona, so all is well. Lap 19 of the 33 here at the top tier GT3 VR Sim Racing World Championship, and Red leads Wascanaria at this stage of the race. Red has been ahead since the very fantastic qualifying pole position that he took. Here he is currently, Red 3.6 seconds in the lead. The drivers behind are on the medium tyre stint. So if Red can stay ahead here until his next pit stop, he'll be in a fabulous position at the end of the race to be on those medium tyres. But that is the project. That's the challenge now for Red. Aya is 7.7 seconds back from the lead of the race, 4.1 from Wask. And the gap at the front there, really nice and even, very manageable for Red, who's now got the challenge of staying focused through into the second and thirds of our race as VRX in P4. Finn, as I mentioned before, Finn was catching. Finn has just taken a small, very short penalty there, and the gap will reopen thanks to the top speed differential between the two. But he's hanging on very, very nicely, Pat Finn. I'm going to switch over to his POV because Apex Not Found and Bijan the gap has reopened a little bit between those two. So you're watching the battle on the main screen. You're watching Pat Finn's point of view on the picture-in-picture as we come up to try and get hold of that P4. But behind them, you've got Tequila Monkey, you've got Nasty, then Tequila Monkey, Uncle Pants, Niki Lauda and Bijan, with Apex not found. Fantastic to see 5 drivers still close together here at the bottom end of the grid, bottom end of the midfield, I should say. Spin is down in 12th with an unscheduled pit stop there on the soft tyres. Dirtbag Larry in 13th has cleared Michelle Keith by 12.4 seconds so far. Michelle Keith needing to find some pace here, lest he end up getting a swap around with his Tortoro teammates potentially who are currently in G2. We will see. This could just be a bogey track for Michelle Keith. Do make sure that you are subscribing to PSV Racing though, in order to see his output. He does put out some really fun highlights of his online races, including his SVR races. Of course, here is Red, 3.1 seconds ahead of Wask right now. And if you are subscribing to channels, I hope you're subscribing to Weber Red 5 as well. I would imagine most of you are, which I'm very grateful to you. Red in P1, I put out a new video today actually, a new thing for me. I rewrote the famous If poem by Rudyard Kipling for sim racing and motorsports drivers. Let me know what you think to that as well. That just came out, premiered just this afternoon earlier today. It's Aya in P3 and Pat Finn right now with and alongside VRX. Well, that looked a little bit uncomfortable there for a moment. Pat Finn fighting for dear life on the outside. We'll have another look at how that one went down. He puts himself right on the outside. That looked like a definitive speed differential between the two. And then VRX very much later on the brakes. Both drivers making it to the apex of the corner. They did then, I thought, wow, they touched from Finn's point of view, but actually it's nowhere near from the replay perspective. So Nasty waiting to try and pick up the pieces here, but Finn would love to get one more place and start building a challenge for Zelen here in the championship. That's target number 1. Do a good job for the team points. Target number 2 is get back on top of former rival, now teammate Wask there out front. We have got particularly short names, haven't we, for the nicknames of our drivers. Red, Wask, Aria, Finn ahead of VRX here. VRX really seems to struggle out of the bus stop. It does seem though, out of the in and out even. The car just not performing for him there. I think that's the damage on the car that he still hasn't been able to switch out and repair. But that has to be coming close now. Once we get to lap 22, of course, we're into the final third of the race. Nasty in the Porsche, looking like that car is driving very nicely around the top speed sections and the banking here at Daytona. Lap 21 right now of the 33. And your starter waits to finish the race with the checkered flag. Pat Finn this time on the inside into the corner. Needs to stay away from that tyre barrier. There's an invisible one on the inside there as well. And so far so good from these two fiercely fast drivers. As Nasty goes for a little bit of a speculative move down the inside. Doesn't really get into it, but Pat Finn leaves space on the inside for a potential move. Then we'll go through the dog leg, which is, I think, flat out. Looked like a tiny little lift for a second. No, it is a lift. Out in 4th gear in these GT3 machines, certainly on 1 mediums anyway. And then, of course, our drivers will have to change those compounds as well before the end of our race. Bijan is looking like he's got a good view of things. He's only 7 tenths away from Nicky, who himself is only 5 tenths away from Tequila Monkey further back. A nice swapperoo from Nasty then going to the low side through the in and out. Should be looking better. That Peugeot looked like it's jumped out of a Kinder Egg. Yeah, it is a bit yeah, not the best looking car, but we're running very low on fuel here with the Porsche. I assume you mean Peugeot rather. Yeah, you do mean Peugeot rather than Porsche. It's hard with that spelling to know whether it was a typo of either of them. But I think you mean the yes, toy-looking Peugeot RCZ. Red and Wask pit at the front with 3 and 4 litres left in the car. Arya, though, just as he did at the start, extending his pit stop. I would imagine the drivers here are heading in towards pit road as well. In they come. Nasty Finn, VRX, and Uncle Pants should be able to go round again, but he's coming in for a new set of boots, as is Tequila Monkey in P8. Bijan, Apex Not Found, Nicky, all in. So we'll go over to Arya, who does seem to manage to just extend by a lap, or possibly even 2, from everybody else here. He hasn't yet, I think, used the hard tyre. No, he did use the hards at the start of the race, so he has continued to carry that tyre delay advantage over. His rear right, though, looking a little bit worse for wear. Obviously been spinning that rear right up on the way out of the in and out particularly, I imagine, but the car is also leaning on that wheel quite considerably on the banking out there. As Ren says, box, box. Arya takes the lead. It's 28.5 seconds the lead, which is not a pit stop naturally. Red comes out then on his new medium tyres. He still has a gap to now Wask, who is also on the mediums, but it's a straight fight between these two to the end of the race now. Full tank of fuel on each car, and now it's about seeing who can hang on to their form and their focus through to the end of our race. So lap 23 of the 33. It doesn't take a genius to tell you it's 10 plus the end of the lap that they are on remaining in this race, but a really fun race that we have been witness to so far. Wask in P3, Nasty in 4th, Pat Finn in 5th, VRX in 6th. We've got Uncle Pants in 7th ahead of Tequila Monkey. Pants on the mediums, Tequila Monkey on the mediums, followed by Bijan, who's got the pain of the hard tyres now in the dead of night here at the home of the Rolex 24. Apex Not Found in P10 on the mediums. So is Nicky Lauda. As they come through, so you can see on board with Nicky. We'll ride this view as long as we can get away with it, because it is a little bit uncomfortable with the lag at the moment. It's not coming through on his POV, thankfully. Quite cautious on the way into the bus stop, just still warming those tyres up. The tyre warm-up phase, of course, will extend in these night conditions, but he got a good exit behind the double toe he will get from both Bijan and Apex Not Found. Apex in the BMW, teammate Bijan on the low side in the Ferrari 296, the purple, white and green Team Morado entry, and it looks like a little bit of teammate work. Will he have to lift actually, because he's not allowed to do the Daytona style shake and bake, bump and run bump draft here. In fact, yeah, he goes low and he brakes late, and he has to put his faith in the fact that he chose his braking zone more correctly than Bijan, who ran out of braking performance there, probably due to the fact that he's on the new hard tyres. If ever you've seen one, that was a great picture of the difference in grip on lap 1 on a new set of mediums and a new set of hards. Probably braking at the same point here, Bijan, as he is used to the whole race through so far, but of course the car refusing to do exactly what he says, or what he asks it to do. Arya comes out of the pits then on a new set of medium tyres, 3.7 seconds away from the lead of the race, which is held, of course, by our young Wunderkind German driver Red, who is now only 0.9 of a second ahead of Wask, whose comeback here has been a thing to witness. Unfortunately, though, that's going to cost him a little bit of top speed on the way out of the bus stop. I wasn't laughing at Wask's misfortune, I must say, just the sheer unfortunate timing of me saying something nice about his run so far. But that is helping Red. He's gained 0.2 of a second just as a result of that run, but it looks like Wask does have a top speed advantage in his pocket here against Red, because he's come back to 0.9 of a second away as Red hits the brakes and then tries to get that Porsche through. Now the Porsche, generally speaking, uses its tyres a little bit more kindly because it is a rear engine, rear wheel drive, so normally you wear the fronts more than you wear the rears on a race car, especially on a mid-engine race car. But it does tend to balance things out a little bit on most tracks, but for some tracks that Porsche will be a much more difficult beast, and I do think this is a rear tyre limited track here today, certainly in these conditions. Wask 0.6 of a second only away from Red. What's going on, Rents? Can you give us some information there from the pit wall of Red's Porsche run. Is he bringing the tyres in gently, or does he have a problem on the car? Is there something happening? Is it just that it's full of fuel? Has he not put enough fuel on? He's put a considerable amount less than Arya and Wask. Actually, no, it's fairly even here on the Porsche. But why is Red's currently not extending that gap as we saw him do earlier? That's a question for race engineer and father Rents there. Behind Wask is an opening gap to championship rival Arya here. Wask is too good, says Bummy. We shall see. All good. Should be fine on strat, says Rents. But here comes Wask. So that straight line speed differential between the McLaren and the Porsche as set up today. Wow, that was close from Wask, who's going to go all the way around the outside. This could be good for Red, because he'll be able to save a little bit of fuel and regain some of that top speed. Oh, Red has gone long on the brakes into turn 1, and he almost comes to a complete standstill there as he was trying to defend the move. Chose a poor braking zone, and that might have given enough of an impetus and has taken away the opportunity of getting back into this race. You can see Red, he did hold on to it. That Porsche really wanted to swap around for him, but unfortunately he just pulls off the racetrack onto the low grip concrete, and that's a little bit of pressure, I think, showing there for Red. Unfortunately, his red, orange, yellow front lights there, depending on the camera angle. Red now needs to regather himself here for the final few laps as we're getting into daybreak already. It's dawn here at Daytona, and that has come upon us very, very quickly. Really good to have that day-night-day transition. But Red won't be thinking about that right now unless it does something positive for his car. 2.9 seconds is Wask's advantage at the front of this race, with Arya, his main championship rival at the moment, back in 3rd place. This could be very, very good payday in points for the Zelen Motorsports crew. Nasty is ahead of Pat Finn. Nasty and Finn on the medium tyres each. And here they come towards our camera position at the head of the bus stop. Pat Finn needs a nice clean getaway here, but Nasty has moved forward incredibly well, you have to say, from earlier on in the race. Pat Finn likewise has had a cleaner run than he's enjoyed in the first 2 rounds of the championship so far. VRX, perhaps one that might be marked as one that got away for VRX here in P6 with that front damage he picked up in the middle stint, unfortunately. Uncle Pants having one of his best days here on the racetrack, I think, with Tequila Monkey trying to make this a damage limitation race there in the matte navy blue Azul Racing Team colours and the Lamborghini Huracan. Then comes Apex, not found in 9th. Nicky Lauda in P10, Bijan in P11, Spin in 12th, and perhaps longest face of the day would be Dirtbag Larry's after he was competitive to challenge for the podium earlier on, and just one minor little slip of the rear axle cost him big time with the contact at the barrier. And you've got Michel Keefe in the PSB Racing, my neighbour Totoro 47 Porsche entry. Wask is extending this gap, and Rents saying that Wask is just fast, just as Bummy did earlier on. How is Nasty on fuel? I think that was fairly similar for Nasty to Finn, at least. Whatever happens between them, I think they've got the same challenge ahead of them. Red P2 ahead. Red is on the medium tyres. No, Red took the hards in the middle stint, Stormborn. So Arya, I wonder if that's a question that Arya's asking here. Is Red on hards because he lost that time? But Red really needs to pick things up here and try and stay within a mistake range of Wask with the 6 laps we have left to go now, as they come to cross the line here to finish out lap 27 of the 33. Pat Finn in 4th now ahead of Nasty. That looked like that was a penalty being paid, possibly. Let's just have a look. Can we catch that in the replay buffer? Possibly. No, it wasn't a problem there. It would have already happened. Pat Finn has got through back up to P4, and I think given the way the season has gone so far, that will be representing a very positive result for Pat Finn if he can hang on here through turn 1 at the start of lap 28. Comes Pat Finn ahead of Nasty now, who has damaged the front of the car. So that is the problem. Wask making mistake is unlikely, says Lurtsy. Yeah, I know. Here comes Uncle Pants for now P6 as VRX drops back again. Another situation, probably by the look of the way the two cars have passed him, that was probably another penalty for VRX as he comes through past the penalty markers ahead of the lap counter start finish line. Uncle Pants, Tequila Monkey P7. Uncle Pants now in that 6th position. Wask leads Red and Arya so far. Arya's gap just a quarter of a second, opening out to nearly 4/10 of a second for a moment there by my Hector readout. Perhaps we should have a look at what is happening with those two. Here he is down the inside now on the way into the bus stop, and Arya dives to the inside. Oh, that's heartbreaking for Red, who is losing performance as we speak. Arya determined to get back on terms here in the final 5 laps with championship rival Wask, but Red has put in an absolutely fabulous performance, but it just came away from him here at the end of the race in the final stint, as drivers who perhaps had trouble earlier on, Wask and Arya, have found a lot of race pace. Don't forget, Red was our pole sitter, and now needs to focus. I only saw one mistake on Red's account there, and that was into this very corner. Similar but less severe to what Arya just did at that exact moment as well. So perhaps Wask is going to be looking at the gaps to the cars behind, just in his mirrors, of course, unless he asks Hector audibly what those gaps are. He'll be watching his mirrors and smiling slightly to himself, thinking, you know, this is nearly over. I've nearly got this one in the bag for my 2nd win out of 3 races so far, and it was one of those comeback wins as well. It's not over yet, though. Don't make assumptions. I'm talking to myself more than anybody here. Into the in and out. Remember, as the tyres decay, the mistakes increase, from the micro mistakes that just mean a slight couple of degrees too much on the throttle pedal as they go through. Through goes Tequila, says Oscar. Well, he hasn't passed Uncle Pants yet. Here he is, behind Uncle Pants. So Tequila went by past, I want to say, was it Bijan earlier? No, it was VRX, who's gone down again. VRX with more damage. No, that is the same damage that he suffered on lap 27 or 29 there. And he had his problems, VRX, but he's damaged the car for the 2nd time this race. And that Peugeot RCZ does not improve its top speed or its grip when you do that. He's got left front suspension damage on the car as well. Spin, his teammate, in P12. Dirtbag Larry in 13th. Mush O'Keefe in 14th position and last. 1 minute 37 away from the leader. He'll try and avoid being lapped here. And Wask's lead is 4 seconds only so far. As you can see on the picture-in-picture, Nicky Lauda still chasing down Apex Not Found, who likewise is having a really strong race so far. Here, though, is Arya and his Azul Racing Lamborghini Huracan. Behind him, they've got Red, who was the pole position driver. Looks like Red may have taken everything out of the car. I'm wondering, you know, if Red is saving fuel for the end and the drivers in front of him aren't too worried about it. I know he's got a similar amount of fuel to Wask. 3 to go here, plus the end of the lap that they are on right now. Out of the in and out they go. This sector is just this banking. NASCAR turns 1 and 2, essentially. That the 5 sector racetrack, as they come across here, they'll get an update. He's just 1/4 of a second slower than he has been all race long. Fastest lap at the moment, a 1:46.799 for Spin. Right down there outside of the top 10 at the moment, as Sir Grinch notices exactly the same thing. Spin did use the soft tyres earlier on, and that's probably explaining that. But Arya just 1.5 tenths slower than he has been before here as they come through. A few drivers have disconnected. Do you need a better view of the end of the race, perhaps? I think you maybe do. If Hector has died, what I'm going to do is turn off Hector so you can get the actual end of the race here. Yeah, thanks, Grinch. So it's Arya in second, Red in third, with Finn, Nasty, Tequila Monkey, Uncle Pants, and Apex Not Found in the top 8 of the grid. Looks like Tequila Monkey has got by. Was that recently? Was that recently enough in the buffer here? It was not, sadly, but it did look like it was in the first sector of the race, of the racetrack. So as we come through then, Uncle Pants now down to 7th position, but I still think a very, very strong performance from him. Apex Not Found likewise. They'll be my 2 candidates at the moment for driver of the day. Wask, Arya, Red, your top 3 right now. I don't know how Red is feeling, but a 3rd place behind Wask and Arya is certainly nothing to be ashamed of, even if you did have the pole and the whole shot into turn 1. Nicky Lauda in P9 has a small amount of left front damage. I don't know how you do that without damaging a wing, but he's done it. Nicky in P9. Bijan, Timorado 9th and 10th. Bijan in 10th there in the 296, followed by Dirtbag Larry in 11th, VRX in 12th, Spin in 13th, and as I mentioned before, Mush O'Keefe now, who has given up a lap to the Zelen racing car of Wask, who's just passed him here. So he'll probably get passed by Arya and by Red before the end of the race. 2 laps to go then here as they cross the start-finish line coming out of here. This is your leader. It's Wask in P1. 3.2 seconds his lead at the moment as the American Airlines Fly America liveried aircraft comes through. This is not Red and Mush O'Keefe. This is Red. Sorry, this is not Red and Arya. This is Mush O'Keefe and Arya. Red not far behind, but his pace has absolutely dropped off a cliff here, Red. I'm at a loss to explain it unless he's saving fuel, but he has the same amount of fuel on his car that Wask has, so I'll be surprised if he's now in a fuel save portion. Red operating on the what was that lap? Was a 49.2. So that one, yeah, was a standout slower lap from Red. I think just the pace fading slightly as the tyres give up their best to Red. So at least there's a few things for him to work on here. VR saying saying hi to some people and reminding no spoilers, please, because I haven't called the race yet. Dummy, I assume you were thanking me for turning off Hector for a hot minute there, maybe. Wask 3 seconds clear of Arya at the head of the field as they come through on this penultimate lap. Now Red will clear his teammate, and I don't know how that feels for both drivers. Must be bittersweet, I would imagine. Pat Finn is 17 seconds away from his teammate, but that does not tell the full story of his race. He's had a strong comeback, I think, to finish in this provisional 4th position. Nasty's in 5th and some 10 seconds back from Finn, who he was fighting with just a few laps ago. Tequila Monkey in 6th place, Uncle Pants in 7th, with Apex Not Found very close behind. If Apex Not Found, let me lay the gauntlet down right now. If Apex Not Found passes Uncle Pants, I'm going to give him driver of the day before the end of the race as they get through the end of this penultimate race lap. Even Nicky Lauda behind with the damage, but holding firm. I think he's going to struggle with those tyres on this final lap of the race. Apex Not Found 0.6 of a second away from Uncle Pants, and there's plenty to fight for here at the end of our race, especially at the bottom end of the top 10 right now. Dirtbag Larry, another one to forget, unfortunately, for Larry, with Spin, VRX, and Mush O'Keefe back there. Here we are, the final lap then for the Zelen Motorsports team driver leading the championship, Wask. He's won 1 race this season, so has the driver behind him, but this will be a 2-race winning streak for Wask if he can complete the in and out and the bus stop. That's really all that separates him practically from the end of from another fantastic win. We've got Red back, some 7 seconds back from the lead. He might be just coaxing this Porsche home now. Wask 2.7 seconds ahead. He's allowing that gap to drop slightly. Arya is not lifting here to the end of the race. Of course, Arya will push just in case there's a penalty on the car in front. He's certainly within a 5-second penalty if the stewards have anything to question over Wask's driving post-race. And that's your target one if you can't challenge the driver for the win, is try and stay within that range through the bus stop safely. He's giving up 0.2 of a second to Arya through here, but Wask, I think it is going to be completing a fabulous race for Wask, for Zelen Motorsports at the home of the Rolex 24. It's Wask who takes round 3, the win here at Daytona, followed by championship rival Arya in P2. Hats off and congratulations to Red for a fantastic performance, albeit losing a couple of places there at the final part of the race. Here comes Pat Finn then to take home P4 for a 1-4 for Team Zelen. Nasty and Tequila Monkey are side by side to the line. Tequila Monkey's going to get him. He's going to get him at the line there. I wonder if that is top speed or that's an engine mode. Uncle Pants takes home P7 and my driver of the day performance ahead of Apex Not Found in 8th. Nicky in 9th. Bijan coming home a lowly 10th place right now for a driver of his quality. Dirtbag Larry pushing to the end there to try and make sure he gains from any problems later on in the stewards room. VRX and Spin formation finish for the Argento racing drivers. I don't know if Spin would overtake his permanent teammate here in the championship. That's a bit of a statement if he does. Spin down the low side, and I think there'll be furious conversations over the radio here, because Spin's going to take points off VRX in the championship and finishes ahead of his teammate Richard Keefe down in 14th. But today your podium is Wask, Arya and Red for a fantastic position and finish there. Wonderful race from don't forget that Wask was in the Adrian Newey division with drivers like me last season, and here he is topping out the G1 division, right up there at the top tier of our GT3 race cars. So there you've got Wask and Arya on all Canadian 1-2 ahead of Red, the German, just getting in the way of our Canuck dominance with Finn in 4th. Tequila Monkey, a good result for Tequila in the end after a difficult start there. In 5th, Nasty in 6th, Uncle Pants in 7th, and Apex Not Found in 8th. Provisionally, of course, all of these results are provisional there. So Grinch saying, I'm the engineer on comms there. So no problem at all. Enjoy hearing from you there, everybody. So Grinch saying it's friendly competition in the Peugeots, I think, for the place based on fastest lap. Nice, says bragging rights they were going for. And then the second half of the field is Nicky Lauda in 9th, Bijan, Dirtbag Larry, Spin, VRX and Monsieur Keefe. That has been your G1 round 3. Look out for Thursday for on the channel here for the G2 replay race call. But from me, Webbo, from everybody here at the wonderful SVR League, thank you so much everyone for watching. Make sure you hit all the positive buttons under the video today, and we will catch you very soon. Next week, of course, same time, same place for S1. A little bit earlier, an hour and a half earlier than that for the rookies. But from us here at SVR, thanks so much for watching. We will catch you on the next race day.